Hello guys, welcome to Daddy Share Space and welcome to my channel. And welcome to my shop. So right here I have my Festool MFT. It's on a self-built cart that I have here, and it is on the same plane or level with my home built 4-foot by 8-foot MFT table that I have over here on my left. It's also on the same plane as my Festool table saw that I have here on a home built cart. Now, if I had it to do all over again, what I would have done is I would have made everything 900 millimeters, which I was unfamiliar with that, as far as that's the standard height of Festool equipment. Like their tables, like if I take this MFT table right here and unfold the legs and put it on the ground, it'll be 900 millimeters. That is also the same height as the Capex stands that I have here in the back. Those are both at 900 millimeters. Now, because I'm not going to rebuild my MFT that I have in my shop today or at this time, I want everything to be close to the same height. Now, this Festool table that I bought a little bit ago, I haven't got it all set up yet, but one of the things I want to do before I set it up and put the router in it is I want to build a cart, a mobile cart like the ones that I have for both my MFT and my Festool table saw. And the criteria for it is going to be the same as I have for most of my shop build carts. Idealistically, I would like it to be narrow enough to where I can wheel it out the side door if I want to take it outside and use it. Now, the Festool MFT cart is not that, but that's one of the tables that I built a long time ago. But the table saw, I can take it outside. So what I'm going to do is fold the legs in on this table, put it on the ground, and then I have this tool here. This is benchdogs.co.uk story stick. You can get a closer look there. Take a look at it. And the way that I use this is, so I'll set it directly on the ground, like here. Let's see if I can back you up so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'll set it on the ground, and then I will raise one of the markers to be level with my tabletop. And another thing that I do to set that is I'll take one of my woodpecker rulers, which is flat on the back side, and I'll set it on the tabletop to where it hangs over, so I know that this is perfectly flat with the table. And then I'll set the Bench Dogs device underneath, slide it under, and then I'll slide it up just to kiss it, and making sure that this is flat on the table. So let me just measure it up here like this, and then I'll go ahead and snug this up. And so this right here is going to represent the height from the floor all the way to the top of this. And that's what I usually do to kind of get all of my shop furniture on the same plane. Now, in this particular case, this wouldn't be accurate because what it's not including is it's not including caster wheels. So what I'm going to do is fold this up, and then once I get it folded up, I'm going to measure the base, and I got to decide on whether I want to make a cart that goes all the way out to this far end, or if I just wanted to support this bottom base. I'm actually leaning towards making it go overhang, because then I can actually store extra router equipment off to the side. So the cart would go from here on this side all the way over to this side, providing a little bit of extra storage underneath and over here. If you can see it, let me move this out of the way. Also providing some storage right down here in this area. So I think that will be pretty helpful in the shop. And like I said, it gives me a lot more mobility, because as it is now, I kind of got to lift this up one side at a time to move it around the shop. And that's the reason why I didn't set it up yet. I knew that I wanted to build a cart. I just didn't know when I was going to have time to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and fold this thing up, and then start to get my measurements. So we've got it all folded up. We just set it back down on its base. Now this has rubber feet so that it can set down and work like as a bench top type router table. All right, so now what we want to do is build a mobile base for this, and then once we build a mobile base, we'll be able to basically create like, we're going to put the rolling base with probably a piece of plywood on top, and then another piece of plywood which will represent the base that this will actually set on. And then we'll do what I demonstrated with this bench dogs tool to get our height. We're going to be subtracting 2 pieces of plywood which represent the top and the bottom, also the 2x4 base and the caster wheels and the height that they bring to the table. So all of that's going to be subtracted. That's going to give me the height of the boards that I need to cut for the 4 sides of the cart. Okay, so I found some basically scrap wood. This used to be part of a fence that I had built outside. I'm going to use this for the base, and I'm going to cut it with my Capex 60, which I have paired with my Sys vacuum that I have on the bottom. And I'm going to go with 118 centimeters in width, and then I got to figure out the dimension this way. So first let me cut out 218 centimeter pieces. Let's go ahead and cut off the bad end of this first. Alright, so with that part off, I'm going to go ahead now, flip my board over and measure off 118 centimeters. And then we'll mark that off. All right, so once I line this up, I'm going to set the stop block down here to the appropriate place so that my second piece will be exactly the same. And actually I need to cut 4 of these to make the frame. So 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the top, because I'll do a second frame on the top as well. So basically we're just building like 2 rectangles. So I'm going to turn on my light. Line that up. This is where I want to cut. Let me go ahead and set my stop block. I'll recheck my location here like that, and we'll go ahead and make the cut. So now that I got my first piece cut to length, this is going to be the long end. I'm going to go ahead and cut this second piece of material that I have here. It's another piece that's pretty rough. You can see one side and you can see the other side, but it's just a shop project, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to flip my top up right here on the end, cut off the edge. And then we'll flip it over and use this end to reference off of our stop, which we have set. and we'll make a cut. Now, one of the things I'm noticing about this board, it's got quite a bit of twist in it, which is going to make it very difficult to make it into a square frame or a frame with 90-degree corners. So we'll have to see if this board works out. I think what I'm going to do is pull out my jointer and planer and do a little bit of work on this to see if I can get these pieces to line up the way that I want them to line up. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to serve the function. So as you can see here, I've got my 2 pieces of cut wood that are going to be the parts that are going to go down the longer portion of the router table, which is here. So essentially what you're looking at is this piece and the piece on the opposite side over here. So now what I need to determine is the width that I want to cut. And so adding the slide in, which is back there, just kind of eyeballing it out, we're looking with the feet in the front, probably about 75 is what I got on. Just kind of roughly eyeballing. It might give me a little bit of extra on the back there. Now, the thing is, this is the sliding portion of the table. I probably don't want the table to go out past that. I probably want this to not be necessarily supported under the table. Or at least if I do, I think what I'll do is I'll build an extension. So I think what I'm going to do is just go from leg to leg on the outside here. And if I do that, that's going to put me at about 57 is what I'm looking for going across this direction. So what I'm going to do, 57 centimeters, I'm going to take this board here and put it like this. So I'm marrying these 2 boards together for now. Now, honestly, to tell you the truth, I probably need to just stop right here. And the reason being is if I'm going to mill these boards down, and this is a problem I've run into on a lot of projects being inexperienced in the woodworking shop, I will go ahead and cut the cross members and then I'll go and mill it and then my numbers will be off. So what I need to do is before I cut the pieces that are going to go in this direction, I need to make sure I mill these boards down to as thin as they're actually going to be to make them as square as they can be so that my cross pieces will fit. So I think what I'm going to do is overcut them. So I'll probably go, I don't know, since I said this is going to be 50, probably about, 50, between 54, about 54 should hit it. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, and I'm going to cut maybe 65. So I'll cut 2 pieces that are about 65, and that'll give me my cross pieces. And so then I can actually take them to the jointer and a planer, mill them up, get them all halfway square, and then I can do the rest. But I need 2 more of these before I do that. So let's go ahead and see if I got lumber for that. All right, so right here I have all my pieces cut. I've got the 4 sets of end pieces and the 4 sets of long parts. And the way this is going to assemble is going to be very simple. We're just going to put these in between these like this on both ends and then build a little box. Let me see what my measurements are. Oh, so these are not cut to final length. I forgot about that because I'm going to mill these down a bit. Now I do notice since these are scrap pieces, I have some metal inside of here, some nails, so I may cut it down on the table saw first before I start milling and cut off these edges so that I don't have to work so hard jointing the boards. And then the main thing is going to be getting these sides, because you can see that rock there. These boards may end up being really narrow by the time I get finished, because there's a good probably 1/4 inch or so, maybe an 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch worth of rock back and forth. So I don't imagine that's going to be easy to get out. Now, there's a possibility that when I go to screw this together, I can kind of torque the board properly to where it doesn't have a twist in it. As a matter of fact, I might go ahead and cut some more of these boards to kind of put on the inside so that I have multiple cross members, at least on the base, right? So I can have 2 on the sides here so I can fasten the caster wheels, 2 on the side over there, and then maybe put 2 pieces in the middle just to give the base a little bit more structure, and then build up from there. And then, as I said before, I'll take a couple pieces of plywood after I attach. Once I build the base, I'll put the plywood on top, just some pieces of it, and we'll use the bench dogs device to measure off of the top, measuring to the height of my MFT, which should match the height of the CSIS 50 table saw. And then all of these things, those other surfaces can end up being like an outfeed for the router table if I need support for longer pieces. So it should all work out. In the future, I'll be doing this all over again and making everything about 900 mils. Possibly, you know. The other thing that I'll do is I'll probably just go ahead, as I've mentioned before, get rid of my big 4 foot by 8 foot MFT, get a second Festool MFT3, and build a cart so that both of those will be 900 millimeters high, so I could roll them around the shop, rebuild this at 900 millimeters, rebuild that stand for the table saw so it'll be at 900 millimeters but also still rollable in the shop. So but for right now, this is just so that I can get to using this thing for now. So let me go ahead and cut out. Let's go with another 4 of these to finish the base.